Punani is just punani. There's nothing different about it. It's the person you're doing it with. That's what makes it special. I think that you should treat dating like business. Look, everyone at the end of the day has their own approach to dating. You know, some people want to find their long-term partner, you know, their soulmate. Some people, it seems like most nowadays, just want to hook up and have friends with benefits. But we can all universally agree that deep down, we simply crave connection. That's what we're wired for. However, I think it should be treated as a business. And I'll tell you why. This is mostly going to be geared towards the men. I mean, if women want to listen to this, if they want to get something from this, sure, by all means. I just don't know if this would honestly help you. Here's my perspective. Okay, I'm 23. I had pretty much a terrible dating life for most of my life because I just wasn't that appealing or desirable. And then the past couple years, I turned it around and I get a lot of attention now. But what I realize is that you guys really think that, oh, I look better, automatically it's going to be better, that's the solution. It's like, well, yes and no. First of all, you can't just look at things on a paper and be like, I have this, I have that, therefore I will get this. That's not really how it works. It goes extremely deep. You know, when you look at a really good looking girl and she's with a guy who's maybe subpar in looks, you know, there's something, he's missing a tooth, he maybe smells a bit, or he doesn't really fit any sort of average or good looking archetype. That woman can be attracted to him for a multitude of reasons. Maybe she grew up on the ugly side. And so back then, she didn't really get much attention from the guy she wanted. So she's imprinted in a sense to go for someone who's not so good looking. Maybe the girl just wants to have control. Or maybe the guy reminds her of her ex. I mean, guys, the list is endless. The point is that you have to treat dating like a business because there's no formula. There's no guarantee. There's no, I don't want to say it's luck, but it kind of is. Like there's no, you complete plan A, follow through with plan B, and that equals plan C, which is your partner. That's not how it works. That's what I realized too. And it's like, when you treat it like a business, you kind of get the fairy tales out of your head. I know it sucks to hear. You know, it's a bit sad because you're like, oh my God, isn't dating and relationships supposed to be a little bit of a fairy tale? You're supposed to experience that love, that spark, that joy like in the movies. But it's like, guys, it can happen, but I think by keeping that thought at the front of your mind, you're just putting yourself on the line too much. I'm not encouraging guys to not be vulnerable, but I think it's just a bit too naive. Because you grow up to a certain point, you reach 28 and you realize it's not like the fairy tales, it's not like the movies, it's not like high school where you acquire the woman of your dreams and you're happily ever after. It's like, guys, that's just not how it works. And look, I'm gonna be so honest, you have to be so detached from the dating world. I found out that I am not even physically or sexually attracted to like 90% of women. I mean, and that comes with me working on myself and internally figuring things out, you know, improving every day in my life. It's like your standards naturally will go up. And as a result, it's like I'm not even attracted to most women. That came also from me treating it like a bit of a business. Me detaching a lot from, you know, seeing a very hot woman. It's like, well, I'm not just gonna fall head over heels because she's hot. It's like, what can this, like, she might be a little bit manipulative. She could be, I don't want to go too far, but she could rob you. She could be she could finesse you. She could be setting you up. She could be a narcissist, a covert narcissist. It's like, guys, you don't know this stuff. But when you treat dating like a business, you have a very level-headed perspective on dating. And it just saves you a lot of time, energy, peace, and money. And the thing is that women are kind of treating it like a business, but just because they're emotional by nature, which is not a bad thing, it's just the way it is. They're trying to practice both, but they don't really have the full harmony with it. But you as a man, you have an advantage. The problem with a lot of men nowadays is just that they're quite hyper emotional. You know, sometimes it takes a major heartbreak for you to switch over, or you just get placed in reality, you get hurt. But it's like, guys, if you can figure out how to become truly stoic, very detached, and you treat it like a business, you have your standards, okay? You're not just going to take whatever comes at you. If you pair that with healthy detachment and secure attachment, you're gonna win. Like, you're gonna win. Guys are like, the return on investment in dating isn't worth it. Let me expand on that a little bit. What even is the investment that you want to see returned? Most of us guys don't even know what we want from a woman. How many of you, and I'm guilty of this myself, how many of y'all have a list of 10 things, 20 things, 30 things that you want in your ideal woman? I guarantee you most of us haven't even considered grabbing the pen and paper to even begin writing it. Have you ever made a list where it's like, hey, I actually want a woman to fold my laundry? And this is assuming that you have your stuff together as a man, because you first have to be the man that is desirable to the woman that you want. But assuming you have that, or you're on your way, it's like, have you even considered what you want from a woman? I want her to cook. I want her to be kind to my mother and father. Now you have your goal when it comes to the investment. When you invest in the stock market, yeah, you're kind of seeing where it goes, but you also have metrics that you want to reach. You also have systems put in place where you can reach this number by this. That's business. You have your systems in place. You hit this revenue and this profit and this margin by this time of year. That's your goal. And so you invest in that, and you're hoping that the return on investment is the outcome that you desired. So when you get clear on the outcome that you want, and it's very straightforward, it's like point form, this, that, boom, boom, boom. It's cemented in my brain, it's written down, it's on my whiteboard. Every single day I look at it. It's programmed. Then it's like, okay, now I know what the return on investment needs to look like. And if you're constantly complaining about the return on investment in regards to women and dating, then my guess is that you probably don't have clarity in what you actually want. And if you do, and if you're the man that attracts the woman that you want, and you've conquered a lot of your hang-ups and your blind spots, and also, you have a lot of awareness and you're taking action on it, then you have the right to complain. But even then, sometimes it's just patience. For you guys, I think it's just patience. For me, I still have blind spots I need to work on. I'm more on the developed side, but I have some blind spots that I'm working on. But the return on investment always has a way of getting back to you if you treat it like a business and you have clarity. So stop falling head over heels and getting into your feelings because a woman is a baddie when you've only known her for 2 months. She hasn't really proven herself much to you, but because of our natural attraction and the way we see beauty, we automatically assume that they're the one because they're beautiful. That's not how it works, guys. I'm not shaming you, because again, it's just our natural urges. That's how we think. But it's like we have to use the logical brain a little bit more when it comes to this stuff, okay? Because again, by detaching a bit and keeping it very business oriented, you're getting closer to the return on investment that you actually want. And also, you're protecting your energy in the process. And I think women do this well, but the problem with women is, again, when they actually meet an investment that they think could be a good return for them, they often just lose it. That's why there's so many complaints on the internet about women saying, the guy that I want doesn't like me. Guys are terrible. I just want to be treated like this. It's like, guys, They're saying this because the guys that they actually want are not treating them like that. Women, they will cut you off in an instant if you're showing weakness because they know that's not what they want. That's why guys are always like, oh, she's not yours, it's just your turn. And I think there's some truth to that. But that's because a woman in her mind is kind of settling. And that could be that is her fault. It could also be the man's fault because maybe he lost his edge or his masculinity. But a guy that she actually wants in all realms, I don't really think she's gonna wander off too much. There's bigger fish in the sea, sure. But if you're so rare and you meet so much of her desires, whether, she's on a primal level, she's sexually attracted to you, you're also responsible, you also can stimulate her mentally, you have an incredible intellect, you can paint pictures, you're articulate, you're good at writing stories, you've actually came from a dark place and you've risen out of the ashes and you built yourself up from nothing. You're also a protector, you have an impressive physique, you have a very tough physical stature. If you hit these realms, it's difficult for them to go off on a different path. They can, but it's a little bit difficult. But the thing is that you get ghosted a lot. All guys go through it, but rejection, women are like, oh no, this too short, too blah, 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 blah. That's because in their mind, the return on investment that they just got from an opportunity is not matching the return on investment that they actually want. So they're brutal with it. They'll cut you off, ghost, next guy, next guy. So they think about it through a business as well, but they have the disadvantage of getting thrown off the rails when they actually meet a potential valuable stock. As a man, you can also be way more controlled, and women love that. That's the advantage that you have. By being more controlled over your emotions and by not letting your sexual urges and your desire to sleep with them dictate your decisions, it actually benefits you with women. So treating it like a business, I don't exactly know how in all forms because I'm still figuring it out, but it's just going to serve you. And if it means that you withdraw from the dating scene, like I'm doing that right now so I can fix stuff and then maybe go back and slowly tread carefully and navigate it because I'm just not in the headspace. And it's like, you know what? If you want to dip out of the scene, whether temporary or for a long time because you have to get your head right and you feel like you're not getting treated with the respect that you know you deserve or you need to work on your self-esteem, etc. That's smart. That's treating it like a business. Sometimes you could be doing it from an emotional place, but you can healthily integrate it and still win at the end of the day. I'll go more into this in other videos, but I just kind of wanted to put that forward a little bit. You should probably treat dating as a business because I think it just protects you in so many different ways.